Hey guys, welcome to Super Important Reviews. My name's Steve, and today I'll be going over the Bandai Japan's movie monster series M.U.T.O from Legendary's Godzilla. This is a vinyl action figure that I decided to actually pick up because I recently had a small Amazon purchase and wanted the free shipping to go along with it. So instead of paying the extra $7 to ship, I just decided to pick up an extra action figure and decided to get the M.U.T.O here. And especially since I actually don't really have a larger scale M.U.T.O in my collection, because most of mine are actually pretty small with either the Chibi or the Destruction Pack or the smaller NECA figures. And I actually wanted a larger M.U.T.O to go along with my larger NECA figures and some of my other Godzilla 2014 action figures, and decided that this guy would actually probably be a pretty cool inclusion. But since I picked him up, decided to go over this figure with you guys, so without further ado, for the tag here, overall it actually has a very nice menacing image of the M.U.T.O, and I really like how you can't actually see him, and it just has that very eerie glow with his eyes and the overall dark pinkish purple color scheme that it has. Looks really sweet. You have the 2014 emblem down here, M.U.T.O. On the inside, God, I wish I knew what that said, but hey, there's a barcode. And on the back of the packaging, you just get the nice dorsal fins of Godzilla from 2014, and also you get the name from the movie, Legendary, Warner Brothers, and some other stuff I can't understand except for the Bandai. So let's get this tag off of him, and oh, this is gonna suck, but here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that fell. I'm gonna get some scissors. Be right back. Alright, so now that we got that tag off, overall in terms of detail, he actually looks pretty nice, especially for being a newer vinyl figure, because compared to a lot of my older vinyls and stuff, which I'll show you guys in a little bit, they have a lot more definition than this guy actually has, but it's just something that's just been kind of happening more nowadays, unless you decide to get an X Plus or something like that. Generally, they're going to be a little bit lackluster in terms of detail, which this guy overall, it's nothing crazy, but it's actually not too bad, which you can see here for the head sculpt. You can definitely tell that it's the M.U.T.O, where you even see a little bit of his teeth inside of there on the vinyl, and where his nice orange eyes are. You can even see the separation of the point for the beak here, where you have the two little points at the bottom and the one giant one for the top. And overall has his giant alien-esque head here with a little bit of the fin look at the back here. Looks pretty sweet. And then for his stomach, overall, there's actually a decent amount of detail here where you can see a lot of the rib cage here and a little bit of a wrinkling effect here on his abdomen. And we also have his little arm appendages here, which it's kind of hard to tell that those are actually arm appendages because it kind of just looks like little nubs, like something's supposed to be gripping onto those, but you can see the tip of the arm appendage right here, and then it just kind of curls up. And it might have been nice to see maybe a little bit more color in here just to kind of show off that that's actually an arm, other than just kind of like weird shaped boobies, you know? It's just, I don't know, just maybe could have used a little bit more detail here just to show off a little bit more of the arm. Then for his actual arm appendages, looks pretty sweet. Really like the orange paint that he has going on the front here. It's kind of, to me, it looks like it was just kind of spray painted on there, but overall it conveys the effect that he had from the film, which looks pretty nice. And then you can see here a little bit of detail here for his arm, where you see a little bit of the muscles contortion there. And also, not really as well on this side, but under here you can see the wrinkling effect where the arm would be bending in and showing off that little wrinkle right there. And there's a little bit right here underneath. And some more here at the tip of the little clawy thing here. Kind of wish it showed a little bit of the, because I remember in the film, in the one part where you kind of touch down to do the EMP effect, you kind of see a little bit of a split there. But I imagine that'd be really hard to do with this vinyl stuff, but it would have been kind of a neat little attention to detail if they would have added that to it. And then for his wings, which actually do look really nice on this guy, other than these unsightly seam line for the vinyls here, which I have to say, out of all my vinyl figures, that's probably the worst I have. You can see here where the wing bends in, where he's tucked in, where he's doing his more walking pose, which is pretty much the standard pose we've gotten for every M.U.T.O. Which, something that actually would have helped with the seam line is actually not having this guy positioned in the more walking fashion. I would actually like to see the wings actually spread out like he's actually flying around, because that would have been sweet. Actually something different than we gotten with the more smaller M.U.T.O action figures is something I would have really appreciated, which, to be honest, the seam line doesn't really bother me all that much. It's just something that's a little bit more unique for this figure, I guess, compared to a lot of my other action figures where that doesn't really show up. But the details on the wings are actually pretty nice, especially when you look at it towards the back. You see a lot more of the muscle definition here, and the arms, or I guess the wing arms coming down towards the back, which is something I wasn't actually expecting, especially this is going to be a lot more flat than it was, so that's actually really nice. And there's even a little bit of detail down here towards his butt, and then a little bit of a crease down the center there. And then for his back legs, you actually see a lot of wrinkling effect in there, and even what appears to be a little bit of paint here, which is kind of odd to me. Which in the film, you see it in some of the scenes where they actually have a little bit of white on them, which I don't know if that's what they were trying to do with this vinyl, because it just kind of has a little bit of a swirling pattern here towards the back of the legs. Which is kind of cool, because it helps to give them a little bit more of a color variation throughout the entire figure, because it's more just this more matte black for the wings here and the top part of the vinyls. And then it has a little, it's the same more matte black down here on the arm appendages and the body. But the legs have a little bit more of a shine and glossy kind of finish to them. So it's kind of cool. It gives them a little bit more variety to the actual M.U.T.O, which he kind of had that nice, slick, slimy look in the movie anyways. Whenever like the lights were shining on him, he kind of had that glisten to him. So it's kind of cool that the figure kind of conveys that. And then just again has that more wrinkly kind of granny-esque look to his legs. And then for his little M.U.T.O feet with the 2 toes. And then for his arms, can move up about that far, down about that far, and for his legs, can move forward about that far, and backwards about yay far, which that's actually pretty big contortion. Like you actually do kind of like the nice awesome jumpy pose where he's like, yeah! And then there's no actual articulation here at the waist or at the wings, and the seam line doesn't appear to be moving at all, which is something that is very nice. So for some quick comparison, here we have the Movie Monster M.U.T.O compared next to the smaller NECA M.U.T.O, the Bandai Chibi M.U.T.O, and the Destruction City Pack M.U.T.O, which again would have been really awesome to actually seen this guy in the more flying pose, because pretty much all these have the tucked-in wing version. I'm just kind of getting a little bit old seeing them in these positions. And also something to point out is these are actually really dark red in comparison to the actual Movie Monster M.U.T.O, which is your standard orange, which kind of gives it a little bit more of a variety for the collection, which knocking over my chibi one. And again, it would have just been nice to see the flying M.U.T.O, because it's not like this positioning is really that bad. It actually probably stands on the shelf better than the flying M.U.T.O would have. But it just would have been nice to have a little bit more variety than just the color variations. And here we have him with the NECA Godzilla 2014 24-inch long head-to-tail version, which I don't think this scale is really going to work. And here we have him with the Bandai's America Smash Attack Godzilla, the Atomic Breath Godzilla, and the Tail Smash Godzilla, which actually these guys are surprisingly pretty well in scale with them. And here's some of my older Japanese vinyl action figures with Cretaceous King Ghidorah from Rebirth of Mothra 3, Godzilla 1954, and Anguirus from Godzilla Final Wars, which these two figures came out in '98, I do believe, and he came out somewhere around 2004. But you can kind of see how far our apple has fallen from the tree, because if you look at some of these other figures' details, just like, look at how nice those spikes are on the back of Anguirus. Even the detail underneath his belly looks awesome. Even has some nice detail on his feet. Tail looks fantastic. Like, even the 1954 Godzilla, just like, get out of your Cretaceous Ghidorah. Just like, oh man, all the details, you know? Just like this figure, again, looks awesome with his evil little beady eyes. So it's just kind of something that I've noticed over the years with these figures, and I'm not trying to knock this figure as being like horrible looking. Like, it looks fine, just not nearly as impressive as what we used to get. And the moment you guys have probably been waiting for, here he is with the NECA Godzilla 2014 12-inch long and the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2014, which overall in terms of scale, they actually seem to work pretty well with them, because the M.U.T.O should be a little bit smaller than him, because he was actually a decent amount smaller than the female M.U.T.O, which the female M.U.T O was about his height. So in terms of that, he actually doesn't look all that bad next to the guy. So if you want to pick up a M.U.T O just to be able to have epic battles with these kaiju, then he actually will suit a pretty good purpose for that. So overall with the Movie Monster M.U.T O, his paint job and details are okay. Definitely not the best I have in my collection in terms of Japanese vinyls, because a lot of my other figures just look phenomenal in comparison to this guy. And in terms of the articulation, it was pretty much what I was expecting, with it not really having a lot of articulation. So when comparing him to a lot of those action figures, he's a little bit lackluster in that regards. But I would still say he's the best M.U.T.O action figure that we have as of right now. Because I think I heard there's an X+1 coming out, which, yes. But for right now, all we have really is pretty much what I showed you with the Chibi, the Destruction City pack, and just the tiny NECA ones. Which, if you want a larger M.U.T.O action figure, this is really all that we have as of right now. And actually scales pretty well with a lot more of the collectible Godzillas with the SH and the NECA. So in terms of that, I'd give him a pass. So if you guys are in the market for a M.U.T.O action figure that poses with a lot more of the collectible Godzillas, or just want a M.U.T.O in general, then this guy will definitely work for you. So what do you guys think? Have you guys picked up the movie Monster M.U.T.O? What's your favorite scene from Godzilla 2014? Or are you guys just going to wait for an SH Monster Arts one to come out? Please let us know in the comments. We'll listen closer pictures of them on Facebook. If you want to click the link in the description below. Please don't be afraid to share this video around. If you like this and want to see more stuff like this, please give us a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.